go. All right. Good evening, everyone. We have some exciting scripts, and we have Danny, you're working a project that you can't talk about.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm working on some films for the next couple of weeks. So I'm doing a feature-length drama and the back half of a really exciting science fiction short that's a backdoor pilot.
Okay.
And then I'm working on a comedy pilot with the same crew. So the two short projects are the last week of the month. And starting on Saturday, I've got like 1 day off, and we're just like doing 8 straight days of this drama. So that's incredibly exciting. The script is something to see. And I'm really looking forward to getting myself back on set.
I need to get that larger. Yeah.
That's pretty large.
Can you still read that? Can you read that?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, speaking of Le Vigilante.
Yes.
Le Vigilante. Okay, yes. I'm so done reading dialogue for this. Let's go.
Okay.
A little larger. Like a little larger.
Okay.
There we go.
Panel 1. Wide shot. Katrina cruises the streets of the red neon district nighttime in her electric cycle that emits a blue hue from the motor. She is now wearing her all-black vigilante outfit, a red mask around her neck that she pulls over her face, and has a belt that she uses as a whip. Red Neon District is part of Ciudad Santa Rosa, filled with nightlife attractions like bars, clubs, gaming centers, and concert halls. Relatively small buildings compared to the large high-rises littering the rest of the city. Like the rest of Ciudad Santa Rosa, it has a cyberpunk aesthetic. Feel free to include dystopian ads like brain chips or cyber cola.
Knock yourself out.
Okay, well, no, I don't feel free to deal with it.
Dystopian ads like brain chips. And
location caption: Red Neon District.
That actually, do you know what?
No,
who would be a good person to hire to do cyberpunk ads? Like, is there anybody in our little group? I mean,
what you do is you hire a writer.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you ask?
No, because I'm the writer, but he raises a good point for my eventual cyberpunk comic. Yeah. I'm going to want to come up with ads, and I can't come up with everything.
Well, you can.
Yes,
you're a writer.
Yeah.
The writer's job is to
write it.
Yeah, conceive the world.
Turn air into stuff.
Yes.
We are magic.
Exactly.
Now to visualize it, I understand. But to say like, hey, I would like this ad or this ad.
But like, I want like a 1950s Z-Rust billboard, except it's like a cute little boy holding like a ray pistol, and it's like, be some sort of anti-communist theme, like beware the enemy, aliens work together, aliens are communist.
Yeah, sure.
Vote America. Bam. Yeah. Like, you have to fucking draw it.
That's what the artist is for.
Yeah. I can't draw crap. No. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Like, there are these there's this entire class of words called adjectives.
They are.
And you can use it to express tone and feeling really effectively when you're describing a physical object.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Square panel. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You're doing narration. Go ahead.
I am, in fact, doing narration. Holy fuck. There's a panel, too. Square panel. Katrina is parked in a dark alley, and the rear carriage of her electric cycle transforms into a drone.
Hell yeah.
Caption: This is it. Let's hope this run goes better than my last. Can't keep letting those maniacs terrorize the public. Someone needs to be Katrina. That person needs to be John Lamont.
Okay, John Lamont.
Gypsy, tactical preset 1.
Panel 3, rectangle panel. A square is a rectangle panel?
It is.
Anyways.
Oh, Danny's so triggered. Danny's so triggered right now.
Yep, having a day. I had to read that script again today for the third round of untagged revisions, for which I'm not getting paid. Okay. Love my job. The drone is now air. Born. Above Katrina as she equips her 2 retractable nightsticks onto her back.
Drone online security scan initiated.
Ready for my headliner. I can see it now. Trafficker enforcers turned in by mystery badass.
360
AV live encryption active.
Panel 4, wide panel.
We're cracking up, Diane. There we go.
Is that also a rectangle or is that a different shape?
Why?
It's your first page, dude. It's your first page, and you can't even do your art direction coherently.
Oh, Danny's harsh. All right.
Wow.
We
haven't got to that
hot, spicy takes from Danny.
Danny's dropping salt.
Katrina mask now on from the darkness of the alleyway is watching a couple maniacos as gang members as loitering the parking lot of Gringle's sports bar. No location tag needed. Maniaco 1 is a blonde man wearing a white hoodie and blue glasses with a noticeable cyber watch. JR is a tall spiky raven haired man with a cybernetic left eye. The theme is cyberpunk.
Yes.
And you're telling the artist is on panel 4. Katrina listens in on Gypsy's audio feed. Gypsy now floating above the area. Maybe inlet panel giving Gypsy the word bubbles of their convo. Well, how about maybe not?
I mean, if you feel it.
We need a Maniaco 1.
Time to deliver, dog. Don't let me down. Dan, do you want to be JR?
Oh, okay. Chill. I've been working one all night. Here she comes. I'm working one all night.
I've been working
Look,
one all night.
If you want to talk about the incoherent dialogue,
that's why I was like reading it again, going like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's the line.
That's the line.
Page 3, panel 1, 3/4 page panel of Gringle's sports bar and the parking lot with a couple of cars in front. The next 4 panels will be in love.
Oh yeah.
Whatever that's supposed to mean.
So 5 panels on this page, but the first panel takes up 3/4 of the page.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
It's even better when you see all the dialogue I'm sure we're about to see. Hey, John, isn't it great when you cram all your dialogue into your smallest panels because you can't direct your artist?
Yes.
No,
Or when you remove 3 panels from a page, then keep all the dialogue on it because you can't direct your artist?
No, that was done on purpose. I wanted more room for the tits.
Okay, did you edit the script?
Yes.
I hadn't had a chance to do that.
No, you didn't, John.
Boobs require fuel.
Sorry, I also started lettering harpies today.
There you go.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
One of my character introduction panels had an extra panel on it, and I said that takes up too much away from the boobage. So
yeah.
I told the artist cut that panel, and then I forgot to go back and edit the script.
Yeah, and you also didn't look at the script because you cut the wrong panel, but that's a different problem.
Yeah, that's
you didn't
because
really cut the wrong panel, but you cut is where the dialogue was supposed to be. It was super confusing.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you didn't redirect the other panels, so it's just like it's like 6/8 of a 6/8 of a page, panel 1. 2/8 of a page and a quarter, panel 2. It's incredible. It's incredible design. Okay, right. Speaking of which, horizontal panel inlet. JR grabs a woman by the arm. Mari and Ceci, the 2 women being harassed, are standing next to each other. Mari has short brown hair with glasses, wearing a metallic colored jacket over a short dress with sneakers. Ceci is heavy set and has long blue hair with a tank top of the local soccer team Las Amazonas and shorts.
Let go of me.
Hey, she's done for tonight, okay?
But we got
something.
Is that something?
That's something.
We got something going on. I feel it.
Panel 3, square panel under panel 2.
Yes.
We change the perspective to Maniaco 1 overlooking the group as he steps in with a big cheesy smile.
Yeah, why don't you join us?
Panel 4, square panel next to panel 3. We see Mari clearly intoxicated and JR still holding her arm as Ceci questions their motives.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Excuse me. We're not going anywhere with you.
You're missing the point here.
Panel 5, square next to panel 4. We can see the group as Maniaco 1 lifts his shirt and flashes his pistol. Ceci reacts. Include an inlet panel of the pistol.
So an inset into panel 5?
Which is itself an inset.
It's itself an inset. Okay.
Okay.
Onto panel 1 on this needlessly complicated page.
So 3/4 of the panel that is 1, and then you have 2, and then you have 3, 4, 5, and then 6 is underneath it.
Yes, 6 is underneath.
Makes perfect sense.
It's not horrible. It's not.
I mean, a design like this can actually work.
Yeah.
It's just not really expressed very clearly.
Yeah.
And
well, what kills it is saying panel 1 is 3/4 of the page when it doesn't have to be.
Well, that's not a problem as long as you direct your thumbnails. But that's advanced, I guess. So, like, if you were to give this to an artist, it would come out looking like a dog's breakfast at best.
Mm-hmm.
All right. OMG will do whatever you want.
There you go.
Panel 6, rectangle bottom page panel. Okay. Katrina steps in as the group reacts to her interruption.
Hey, they've had enough. Let them go.
Who the fuck are you?
Panel 7.
Panel 7?
Rectangle panel
into 6.
Oh, so this is actually panel 8. Same shot as last panel. Katrina nonchalantly introduces herself with her mask on. You can change their stance and expressions is, but I won't because that seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, you can, but yeah.
I'm going to say this every time.
Yeah.
Just just copy paste the last panel over here, and
I'm here
for the gangbang.
Yo, I think it's her, the
lady in black. Sorry, one lady in black.
Guess the words. Whoever captions, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I guess that should be me because basically that's her VO.
No, I'm the narrator, so it's my job to read this, and eventually, when the writer figures out that if it was a narration box spoken by Katrina, he should bloody well say so. Yes. I'm gonna read it.
All right.
Caption: guess the words out. Time to make a statement.
Okay.
So hold on. Are there 16 balloons on this? Okay, so
it goes 12, 13, 15, 16. So we skipped one.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, I'd say there are 15 balloons.
There's 15 balloons on this page with 8 panels.
Yes.
Most of which is a panel with no dialogue.
Yes. Which
means you're cramming 4 balloons into these tiny panels at the bottom.
Yes, it's not going to work. This needs to be 2 pages.
I mean, it needs to be smaller.
That too.
Page 4, panel 1, rectangle panel. We see a progression of movements in the same panel. Same parking lot night. Their shadows dance under the neon lights. Maniaco 1 rushes Katrina. She steps and kicks Maniaco 1 in the abdomen, sending him reeling backwards.
Chick's got some kick in her. Off panel.
Panel 2, rectangle panel. Maniaco 2 releases Mari as she runs away with Ceci. Who's Maniaco 2?
I'll do Maniaco 2.
No, but like in the story, who is that? We haven't introduced.
Who is that? There's no 2.
There was Maniaco and JR.
Yeah,
JR is Maniaco 2.
There we
go. But why don't you just say that?
Why don't? That's a good question. Why don't you say that?
I mean, why does Maniaco 1 not get a name and Maniaco 2 gets a name?
That's actually a really good question. Unfortunately, I didn't write this. So,
I just want to say something. Every time you say the name Ceci, I can't help but giggle. Yeah. And the reason why is because that's how my parents says the word sexy in their Vietnamese accents. So
Diane.
Yes.
You're good at drawing, right?
Yes.
Can I just like challenge you to very roughly sketch out any of these pages for your crit and just show that as your crit?
I'm actually trying to imagine, as I was reading this, going like, I was trying to imagine how this looks in my
And can you
head.
just show a picture of that as your feedback at the end?
Oh,
That would be cool.
yeah. Okay.
Like
Well, I
stick
kind of want to do
with
2/3 one.
circles for balloons.
Just like, let's look at this. How many balloons?
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. All right.
Anyways, panel 3, vertical rectangle panel. So a rectangle panel.
Yes.
As opposed to a horizontal rectangle panel? Or a
He has
horizontal square panel? Or a horizontal circle
Maniaco
panel?
1 is a square panel a vertical panel or a horizontal panel?
It's square. But I know by vertical rectangle he means.
Yes, I do know what he means. It's a tall panel.
Yeah, it's a tall, narrow panel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maniaco 1 grips his gun on his waistline as JR approaches from behind. I'm sorry, that's Diane's line. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Put that away. She ain't worth it. Besides, do you really want La Familia on us?
Panel 4, inlet. Maniaco 1's gun. Again? Hold on. Didn't we have an inset panel of his gun in the previous page?
I mean,
we have it on the previous panel.
Well,
oh, hey, look at that.
Yeah. He's armed, all right?
I almost feel like those two panels could be combined.
I don't think they should be combined. I just think panel 4 should be deleted.
Yeah, I don't think you need panel 4. Just dump it. Yeah.
They're already redundant.
Yeah.
Panel 5, rectangle panel next to panel 3. Maniaco 1 turns to the lady running away.
They're getting away.
Fuck them, dog. I want this one. I like the tough ones. I like to see them break.
Panel 6, rectangle panel under 5 next to 3. Katrina takes her martial arts capoeira stance. Physically awkward, like in JoJo's. I've read JoJo's, and what?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
JoJo's is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, okay.
Which is a pretty well-known thing if you're a cartoonist, I would hope.
Sorry.
I mean, dude got an exhibit in the Louvre.
Nice.
He did a collab with Gucci.
Nice.
Yeah. So JoJo's is a thing. I have an idea of what this person is, what this writer is describing, except it's unnecessarily complicated.
Yes.
Which I guess isn't his problem because he's the writer. As JR is now in reach, JoJo camera angle from JR's back foot looking up towards Katrina.
Fancy moves.
Panel 7, rectangle panel. JR swings at Katrina a few times. She dodges.
He must have grew a couple extra arms.
That's in one panel?
That's in one panel. Yeah.
That's also a JoJo image.
Yeah.
Is that with wave lines that go like?
I mean, multiple ghost arms is the JoJo way to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. Panel 8, square panel. Katrina counters with a rising head kick, knocking JR backwards.
Hiya!
Ugh.
By the way,
9, square panel.
Oh, yeah.
Why is there
JR swings again.
I think we're only going to read to page 8 because I think he's loaded these pages with.
Well, you're only saying that because he's totally loaded these pages with content.
Yeah.
Page 5, panel 1, square panel, same setting. Maniaco 1 screams into his watch.
Get out of here now!
Get in the chopper!
Get in the chopper!
The more, the sexier.
I do love that page 5 starts with a Dick Tracy panel. Panel 2, rectangle. Katrina Roundhouse kicks JR, knocking him out cold, and knocks his prosthetic eyeball, Well, I just say prosthetic eyeball.
Yeah.
Does it say a eyeball on it? Probably not.
Yeah.
Oh, it does say a eyeball ball.
Yeah.
Eyeball. Oh my God.
I remember this from like a month ago.
Yeah.
And we had a very long discussion about how calling it that without actually calling it that on like in the dialogue was pointless.
Yeah.
So we're not going to retread that.
Yeah.
Out of its socket into the air, whoosh.
Whoosh.
Panel 3, inlet. Katrina catches the AI ball. Bzz.
I'll take that.
How is she off panel when she's on panel?
That's a good question.
Panel 4, triangle. Zoom into Maniaco-One's face.
You know that JR you just clocked.
Panel 5, triangle. Zoom into Katrina's face.
I don't know. You can't see my face right now.
Oh, I don't need to see your face to know what your face is doing, Diane. Because my face is doing the same.
I'm just going
thing.
like,
Triangle.
Do I look like I care?
Oh, gosh.
Panel 6, square. Katrina tosses the AI ball to Gypsy as 2 other Maniacoza appear. Swoop.
Retrieved. I feel like he's missing a line. I feel like she should say, "Got your eye." But, all right.
That would be funny.
Then we might actually have like a Three Stooges gag, and then something might actually be funny, like on purpose.
Yeah.
And we can't have cartooning in our comic.
No.
Oh.
No, that's my job.
Panel 7, wide shot. Katrina is pinned against a car as Maniaco-One screams orders at the others.
That's the bitch. Get JR's AI ball back.
Page 6. Panel 1, square. Katrina slams open her batons and begins her onslaught on all 3 of the Maniacos. Slam.
Let's get the juices flowing.
Panel 2, small triangle. Zoom into the batons, smacking Maniaco 2. Smack. Panel 3, small triangle completing a square with panel 2. Zoom into, in toe baton hitting an arm. Crack. Panel 4, small triangle completing a square with the next panel. Zoom into baton hitting Maniaco 2 across the leg. Split. Panel 5, small triangle. Zoom into a baton hitting Maniaco 1 across the back. Bust. Panel 6, wide shot. Katrina stands over Maniaco 2 as the others stand further back.
Ugh. Whoever's 2 and 3 are.
Damn it.
I guess that's
It's
me.
broken. Panel 7, inlet. Zoom into Katrina's face, now spotted with blood. Where did the blood come from? Was it there on panel 6?
I don't know.
Was she hit?
I don't
When
think
was she
was
hit?
hit. Maybe,
I don't think she was hit.
I think blood splashed onto her from all the violence she's unleashed.
But that only happens on panel 7, I see.
Yes.
Okay, well, Katrina has a line at the top of the next page.
I did. Yes.
Panel 8, square. Maniaco 1 realizes he's losing and grabs his gun.
She's dancing all over us. Damn it, I'm wasting her. He's been grabbing that gun for 2 pages.
I mean, he's just, his hand is going in and out of his pants, grabbing that gun.
I know. Stop playing with it.
Just, you could take it out and wave it around.
Exactly.
No, he's just going to manhandle his gun in his pocket all day long. Panel 9, a rectangle, a giant hand.
Why is
her
this 10 panels?
Yeah.
By the hair as she recovers her breath. It's La Bestia, a giant hulk of a man with a female pronoun, cybernetic veins running down his arms. He has a blue mohawk and a pink neon leopard printed vest. Think Cyberpunk Zangief from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Angle from behind Katrina as she stares down her scattered foes. We need a La Bestia.
Come here, bitch.
Panel 10, square, zoom, zoom in on Katrina's reaction as La Bestia grabs her hair.
Ah! So 9 and 10 should be a splash page on a page turn.
Yes.
Page 7, panel 1.
And they should be one panel.
Wide shot. Katrina is thrown into a car. Gypsy hovering above. Maniaco's is now on their feet. Maniaco 1 kneeling by JR. La Bestia still in forward motion after Katrina. This could possibly be a single page splash, but it isn't, because that's not what you directed in your page direction right here.
She's mine.
Panel 2, square, zoom. Yeah, love these zooms. Zoom in Katrina's face. She smirks menacingly as she looks down and away from La Bestia. She is now standing, superimposed, borderless, on the page. Her face is in the square, body on display.
Don't touch the hair.
Panel 3, square, zoom in La Bestia's upper body. Superimposed borderless on page as he zips towards Katrina.
That's just not gonna work for me.
Zip. Panel 4. Rectangle split in 2 triangles, panel 4 and 5. Katrina launches off the car. Panel 5, triangle completing rectangle with panel 4. Katrina flies towards La Bestia, aiming to land on his face.
Oh, yeah.
How about a snack?
Panel 6, consecutive vertical panels, full page. Wait, what?
Yes.
What?
Consecutive vertical panels, full page.
Okay, those are the words I read. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Katrina wraps her legs around La Bestia's face and hammer strikes La Bestia.
Slurp, slurp.
Panel 7, vertical panel. Katrina continues her onslaught with an exhilarating expression.
Wait, is that too much? I hope you're not diabetic, because this thing is sweet.
Panel 8, vertical panel. La Bestia rips Katrina off him. Caption: Grippy AF.
Yeah. All right. Okay, that's 8. That's close enough to 10 pages, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
There's those pages were pretty loaded with a lot of stuff. All right. Well, I mean, I think this is the best version of the first 10 pages of La Vigilante that have ever been turned in.
This version didn't even have page 1.
Well, I mean,
that's what made it so good.
Feel bad.
That's true. Page 1 is terrible.
All right. I don't even know. I mean, it's all right. Well, that's what I had to say. Diane, what do you got? Positive. We're being nice here.
Can we see the picture? Can that just be the positive?
There we go.
No. I don't have anything positive.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Oh,
Don Lamont.
I don't have anything positive. I need a
So I'm glad you kept all the good fun stuff.
Yes.
This script looks suspiciously like a comic book script.
Yes.
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 It's loitering in the neighborhood of a comic script.
It is. It has absolutely entered the neighborhood of a comic book script, and it is looking for an unlocked back door to sneak into.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Constructives. All right. When you're given your art notes, I'd like it. Well, first off, you can eliminate some of these passives. There's no reason for the, is whatever. Just, they stand, they fight, they slam, whatever. Like notes like this could be a splash page are kind of useless, right? Well, because the way you wrote it, it's not a splash page. It's a panel on a page. And when you put in that note, you're just going to prompt your artist to come back to you and go, is this a splash page or is this not a splash page? So don't delay your script being produced. Just tell them if that's a splash page, hello Draco, or not a splash page. Sometimes in a lot of pages of La Vigilante, I feel like your heroine is Batman.
Yeah.
But these pages, I feel like your heroine is Spider-Man and just has to keep up all the witty banter as she battles all the odds. But one of the things I want to say, I grew up reading Spider-Man, and he would say humorous stuff, but at the same time, you could have thought bubbles, and his thought bubbles were usually like, oh my God, this guy's really strong. I don't know how I'm going to beat him. I hope something doesn't happen. Wonder what Aunt May's doing, something like that. Whereas here in these pages, like, all right, she's beating up Maniacos, and I think we know that she has to win, right? There's no way the Mook's going to beat La Vigilante. But then we are introduced to big Street Fighter guy.
Yeah. Zangief.
Zangief, a.k.a. La Bestia. And she doesn't seem at all concerned, She just jumps up and does her patented pussy slam and expected.
I was waiting for that. I was just waiting for that. I was just kind of like, where's the pussy slam? Where's the crotch shot? Come on.
And like, when you have, because the main character is the only, how do we know what's dangerous and not dangerous, right? This is a world that the writer conceived of. We're just kind of watching it. So the main character is the one who's there to tell us, oh, this is bad, or oh, not so bad. And the main character at this whole storyline so far, or the pages we read, is none concerned, and is generating an environment then where the reader is not concerned, because if the main character is not concerned with her safety, why should we be worried about her safety? She's probably fine, right? She's going to pussy slam everybody and call it a day, which is, that's lowering the stakes and lowering the tension, and it just turns into a mook fight, and you need it to be more than that. Okay. Diane, constructives. I know you have a few, maybe one.
A lot.
Right, well,
a lot.
Give us
I'm just was reading this. I'm like, I want to ask, is this like normal format? The way this is constructed?
Comic format can be a little loose.
Yeah.
So I don't know what a normal format is.
Because
it wasn't horribly formatted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're I called out some of the lines like this could be a splash. Like that shouldn't be in there.
Yeah. I'm just wondering because it's very restrictive for the artist.
Yeah.
And also you have 10 panels in one page and half of them were triangles.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and I was just kind of like imagining that in my head, especially when you have zoom ins and all I could see is like anime wave lines. That's all I saw in my head for like zoom ins. And then these triangle panels had action shots, which I was trying to imagine how are these action shots going to be possible in these tiny little small triangle panels,
teeny tiny
panels, and some of these panels are on top of other panels and next to other panels. I'm like, why do I need to know this is next to this panel? Why is it necessary for that when you can just allow the artist to be an artist? So also, like, I think some of the small panels were like hit him with a bat against the back, and I'm imagining trying to draw that in my head, going like, "There's not enough room. It's a small triangle. So there's 10 panels on this page. How the hell am I going to do that?" So even convey that, and the only way that I was able to think about it is that there's an artist named J.H. Williams III, and he worked on some Batman comics. Specifically, he worked on Batwoman when her first title run relaunched, and those were abstract panels. Some of them was like a 2-page splash, but the panels were basically consecutive, but it all was in like a Batman logo, and it was very intricate and everything. That's when you have like all these really weird panel sizes, and so that was what I was imagining, but they're all triangles. So and I remember that being like, but it was 2 pages, but it was like maybe 14 panels, something like that. So, but it was still, they were out of the box, inside a box, not a box. It's just kind of odd. But I remember just going like, wow, this is probably the future of comic books right here. It's gorgeous. It's really hard to read it, but it's certainly a statement. And of course, there was no dialogue in it. And again, you have 15 bubbles in like 2 panels. So I don't know how that's going to work, but great. Good on you. And most of those lines were superfluous. You didn't need them. So anyway, that's what I'm going to say. I'm being very nice right now.
You need more jokey innuendos. I think that's,
of course you would say that.
I mean, if you're gonna do it. Like, just go for it. Yeah, like there's that scene where she smacks up a bunch of guys. Like, you have all those insets where she's like smack, and I'm like, I feel like add a couple. There should be a couple zingers there. And then when she's done and she's standing over them all, she should be like, blood dripping down. She'd be like licking her lips, like, what, you guys couldn't stand up to me? Or I don't know, like, oh, did I tire you out already?
I said, gang, boys, why am I covered in blood?
There you go.
Like, boys today just don't have the stamina they used to.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like, come up with something. There needs to be more of it. Because if you're going to do it, just go all the way and don't, So yeah, that would be my thing.
So I've been trying to prioritize what I want to say.
Here we go.
Okay.
There we go.
I am also going to take Diane's approach. Firstly, I agree with Diane. Whoever your artist ends up being for this, no matter how much you're paying them, you're not paying them enough.
Yeah.
And your art direction is simultaneously vague and terribly restrictive. So
it's a nightmare.
I didn't say that.
It's a nightmare for her.
I've been trying not to say that. So that's my first note. You should delete all of this and write it again more efficiently, because every time you do that, it does get better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Secondly, I don't know if you've seen a comic before or one with an action scene. If I could recommend, Preston's done a couple of pretty good ones. So have I. In fact, I've just recently posted one on like the writers thing that we have. Like, I think that's a pretty good series of scenes, including a fairly complicated action scene that's in the middle of another action scene. So, maybe look at what that looks like and imagine the amazing art that you want and the number of panels that you want on a page, and see if there's a version of this you can imagine that actually includes all of the things that you want, that is visually comprehensible. Because I'm going to guess that if you try and draw it, it won't be. So yeah, there's a certain point, especially when you've written a reasonable facsimile of a professional script, which you have indeed done, that like you have to actually like read some comics to know what comics do and can do, which I suspect you're not doing. So that's good advice. Everything you read, even if it's bad, will help you produce something better. I become a better writer every time I come here and read anything, good or bad. So yeah, you've got to write what you know, and you want to write a comic, so read some comics. The other thing is, and I believe you should get this tattooed in reverse on your forehead, is one verb per panel.
Yeah.
Just one verb per panel. You get one verb per panel. If you've written more than one verb in your panel description, you have done something wrong. So don't do that.
If I might, and I think this was mentioned before, and I don't know if you can draw or not. I can't draw to save my life. But what might help you is to sit down with a pen and paper and try to draw out your panels, even if you do them in stick figure. But just try to draw it out panel by panel, so you get an idea of what can feasibly fit within that panel, and then try to letter that panel and see how that comes out. Because I literally so depending on how long you've been around, I started out doing 3D comics. And when you are trying to set up the artwork for every panel...
And we now know that these were not pornography of any kind.
They were not. But when I was trying to create these panels, I literally had to... And again, I didn't write it. When I did this, I didn't write a comic script. I literally wrote the screenplay, and then I sat down in front of the computer and I converted it in my head, and I just started doing panels. And then, but it wasn't until I started putting these panels onto a page, and then when I started actually lettering these panels, did I really figure out how much I could actually fit on a page. How many panels would fit on average, how much dialogue would fit into certain panels, and that helped me a lot. I would not recommend spending thousands of dollars on a brand new computer and a bunch of assets, because it's probably not going to have any ROI for you. But a pen, paper, and some stick figures, and I think you should be able to I think you might be able to figure it out when you start doing that. And just try to actually make this as a comic. And I think that might actually help you to understand what you're missing in your script, is to actually just make it and do everything. Do the dialogue, do the drawing, and then you'll learn really, really quick. Oh, I can't actually fit 10 panels on this page. Oh, I can't actually put that much action into one panel. And I think that will help you a lot if you can do that.
All right. We got Serial Twins, and Diane is obsessed with splash page and multi-panel layouts.
It's not even her Pokemon time yet?
It's not even Pokemon time yet. So
no, I was looking at the
showing me looking at the splash pages and
how they
splashes. And,
so
and
it was
multiple panels.
So that was J.H. Williams III. That's the guy that I was talking about.
We have Rutger Osterhoff and Serial Twins. It's back. All right, I'll do this one. Caption: Saw Pit, Colorado, Prescott basement night. My pronunciation of Prescott has changed since I actually visited that. Yeah. Wide shot down to the basement stairs. Jake, 49, balding, warm smile, and Karen, blonde hair, angelic face, descend the metal stairs. Identical 4-year-old twins, Megan, black hair, hazel eyes, and Catherine, follow hesitantly, clutching their teddy bears. The harsh, dim light casts long shadows across their faces. Their footsteps make the chain link fence rattle. Prisoners in various states of despair cower in their cages. Some cry out. On the floor, caked with filth, stands a large meter. A few meters below it stands a table with dog cans on it.
Megan, Catherine, it's time you two learn how to rid society of its lowlifes.
Hell yeah. Medium shot. Karen sits on a stool next to a meat grinder, her face lit by a chilling grin. A dog food can labeled Jake's Chow sits on the table beside her. Panel 3, 2 shots of identical twins. Megan and Catherine's wide, terrified eyes stare at Catherine. Megan hugs her teddy bear tighter. Catherine starts to cry silently.
What's happening?
Mommy, sniff, sniff.
Close up. Karen's maniac grin stretches as she turns the crank with ease. Human flesh noodles slide out of the grinder into the can. Blood stains her hand.
Dogs just love the taste of human flesh.
Panel 5, medium shot. Jake stands over a workbench with a human leg. With precise strokes, he marks 4 sections of flesh using a thick black marker.
Precision, girls. Always measure before you cut.
Close up. A table saw soars to life beside him, kicking up sparks. I got to say, comic book format, pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Page 2, 4 panels. I mean, that's the right number.
Yeah.
Good
4
job.
panels. That's very doable.
Good job. All right. 1 wide shot. Teenage girl huddles in the corner of a cage. Her skeletal hands clutch a rosary tightly. Panel 2, medium shot. Karen leans toward her, holding a spoonful of human meat, her smile growing wider.
Hungry yet?
Panel 3, close up. The girl trembles, shaking her head violently. Tears streak down dirt-covered cheeks, and her lips are chapped.
You deserve what's coming because you're a dirty sinner.
Panel 4, wide shot of the twins. Megan and Catherine stare at the girl in shock. The teddy bear slips from Catherine's hand and lands on a small puddle of blood.
It can't do both of those things in the same panel.
That is true.
I mean,
the teddy bear cannot do both.
We should just keep adding verbs to panels. Clearly, I was totally wrong about saying 1 verb per panel.
Anyway.
Because that's definitely how still images work.
All right.
Don't look away, girls. This is your legacy.
I gotta say, this is a pretty gripping scene.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
That's
gruesome.
Despite that panel.
Well, what's the rest of the spread doing?
Now we're
on new location.
Austin Alley, same time. Splash Page Valley, a homeless man wrapped in grimy newspapers, sleeping against a pile of garbage, awakes to wicked cackles, glass bottles being kicked, trash cans knocked over by 4 punks walking into the alley. Their shadows loom large over the homeless man. The punk leader is in front, smirking, while the others follow behind, menacing.
That's how you establish a scene with a splash page.
There you go.
There you go.
Page 4, panel 1. All right, Rooker. All we need is for you to
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Work with the La Vigilante guy and see if you can teach him a thing or two about the stuff. There we go. Medium shot. They surround him, towering.
Please don't hurt me.
Panel 2, close up of the punk leader craning his neck towards the homeless man, his grin growing.
We wouldn't do that, right, boys?
They all snicker. Close up. The homeless man, head bowed, asks nervously,
"What do you want?"
Two stage shot MS. Punk leader digs in his pocket, holding out coins.
To help. Want some
What's that supposed to
change?
mean?
I think this is like 2 panels. Panel 1.
Oh, okay.
He holds out some change. Panel 5. Close up, the homeless man cowers his head, barely nods. Page 5, panel 1. Wide shot of punk leader tossing coins down the alley. The coins bounce and roll in the distance.
You can have that, old man, if you can get to it.
Panel 2, medium shot. The man.
I think you read a comment in there that wasn't there. It's, you can have that old man.
If you can get it.
Panel 2, medium shot. The man inches down the alley, gets kicked in the rib, clutches his side. Panel 3, wide shot of the punks kicking and punching as he curls into a defensive ball.
Please stop.
Panel 4, medium shot of close-up punk leader leading down towards the homeless man, his grin sadistic.
What did you say?
A voice with authority.
He said, leave him alone.
Panel 5, close-up of punk leader.
Who the hell is that?
Panel 6, medium shot. A bottle shatters behind them. The punks react, spooked, except the leader.
So that's it. You're not going to show us your face. Scared.
Page 6 panels. Panel 1. Wide shot of punks and the man. The punk leader spits at the ground.
Thought so. Not so tough now.
His voice bounces off the brick walls as panel 2. The man lurches away to get his change off the screen. I don't know. Anyway, panel 3.
Whoa. How does his voice bounce off the bricks in an illustration?
I don't know. Panel, not to mention
panel of still images.
Yeah, panel 3. We need some kind of description for punk leader here, but we just have a panel with, I guess, punk leader. What do you think?
Where do you think you're going?
You're right. Of course, not my line. Panel 4. Close up of the homeless man's terrified face. He whispers, trembling.
It's gone.
I just wanted some change, man. Panel 5. Medium shot of coins falling from above, spinning and rolling to a stop on the ground.
You dropped, you change.
You did. Panel 6. Close up of punk leader startled. He looks around, his confidence wavering. Page 7. 8 panels. Panel 1. White shot. A shadowed figure leaps from above, delivering a punch that knocks punk leader out cold. Panel 2. Medium shot of the remaining 3 punks turning around in fear. Their fists are up, but they're visibly shaken.
Where'd she go?
Panel 3. Action shot wide. The vigilante jump kicks one of the punks, sending him flying backward into the trash can. Panel 4. Medium shot. She turns to the remaining punks wearing a black ninja gi with a gavel logo. Small teddy bear linked to her belt. Her face is masked, threatening. She's a ninja with a teddy bear. That's crazy.
Yes, the most threatening thing ever. A teddy bear.
Ninja with a teddy bear. Panel 5. Medium shot. One of the punks sprints off into the main streets, leaving the alley and his buddies behind. Panel 6. Medium shot. The remaining punk strikes at the female with haymakers. She dodges with ease. Panel 7. Three stage shot wide. 1 catches his fist. She twists his wrist. 2 then delivers a right jab to his face. 3 he drops. So that's like 3 panels. Then. Page 8. 3 punks shot wide. The female rummages through each one of the punk's pockets, taking out wads of cash while the man watches, shocked and relieved. Page 8. 7 panels. Panel 1. 2 stage shot wide. She walks over to the man. He shudders.
I'm not going to hurt you. Is this a different character? Or is this the same as the off-screen voice?
I think it's this. My interpretation is female is
the same character.
The same character.
I mean, it's obviously both the twins. We're familiar with this story, but like the script is very unclear.
This is true. Yeah. Panel 2. He extends some. Who is he? Because this is she. Should it be she? I think it's she.
The man.
No, that's the man, homeless man.
Because apparently a 2-stage shot is
to him.
Well,
he extends cash to him.
Oh.
His hands tremble. No, that should be a she. Extends some cash to him. His trembling hands accept.
It's you, isn't it? Saw you as a little girl in the saw pit. Glaring through the window. A man pulling you away.
Panel 2, medium close up. The female pulls out a can of black spray paint from a holster, strapped to her left leg. Panel 3, medium close up. She unsheathes a rolled up stencil that has the word guilty from behind her back. Panel 4, wide shot punks. Crouching over a punk, she presses the stencil on his forehead. Panel 5, close up. She shakes the can and sprays, leaving the verdict with the criminals. Panel 6, 1 main panel wide, cut into 3 parts. Homeless man standing. His off the screen point of view of the female homeless man.
Wow.
These bullies have been terrorizing us for months.
Who, from left to right, holsters her spray can, rolls up her stencil, and walks towards the main street.
These guys aren't bullies, they're pussies.
Panel 7, close up of the man smiling thinly. I like pussies. Anyway, page 9. He seemed to say. Panel 1, wide shot of the last punk walking down the main street, his collar up and head down, sweating, to looking over his shoulder. A metal ball rattles back and forth, clink, clink. He freezes, turns to see. Panel 2, the female. I'm sorry, I thought this was La Vigilante. The female vigilante.
Way better than La Vigilante.
Yeah. The female vigilante is standing in the shadows at the end of the street. Her silhouette is menacing. Panel 3, medium shot. He's scared stiff, seeing her eyes scowling through the mask.
Don't move.
I'm sorry. I'll change. I swear.
Panel 4, medium shot. The vigilante presses a stencil with the word guilty onto his forehead. Panel 5, medium shot of her shaking her spray can. Panel 6, close up of the punk's face, now guilty, spray painted across his forehead. Page 10, 4 panels. Number 1, wide, 3-stage shot wide. The vigilante delivers a roundhouse kick to the punk's face. 2, sending him flying. 3, to the ground. Panel 2, medium shot. The vigilante rubs through his pockets, takes out cash and a cell phone. Panel 3, medium shot of vigilante tossing cell phone into the trash barrel.
We better go.
4, wide shot of the twins walking towards an apartment block. All right, 10 pages. That was Serial Twins. So, of all the Serial Twins I've read, I think this is the best Serial Twins.
Yes.
Rutgers has come a long way in terms of his writing format. When I get to constructives, like I'll mention like he's doing multi-panels as one panel. I need to fix that, but other than the story was emotionally gripping with like the child abuse. It got these cute little girls and they're grinding up dead bodies and serving it because they're sinners. Bodies. And then we immediately go to like these punks just torturing a homeless guy. Like there's a lot of emotional and then fortunately they come in to save the day. So we have an emotionally compelling story, and I think that's the key ingredient to success. Diane, you got anything to say?
It's better. Certainly
better than what?
Better than the previous ones that we.
Better than La Vigilante is what Diane has to say. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that too.
Yeah.
But no, I actually really love this intro. You basically cut out like a great deal of the some of the superfluous stuff and just got into the meat of it. No pun intended. and don't laugh at that.
Intend those puns, Diane. Intend those puns.
Yeah, but the puns, I got a lot of like Alex de Winter vibes on this from like Clockwork Orange. And I don't think you need that much dialogue at all in order to do this scene. But so far, it's fine. I know that you made fun of the teddy bear. I like it, personally. I think it's cute. But I'm sure it will come up probably more later on. It's like an emotional support bear. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
I always bring my teddy bear when I go beat up strangers.
Well, you know me. I bring my rocket everywhere. So,
but when you don't go to beat up strangers in a dark alley.
You haven't seen it? You don't know?
You live in Dallas. Like, it's all wide streets. I bet you don't even have any alleys.
Yeah,
we have alleys.
Like one?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, depending on which side of the city you go to.
John Lamont.
So yeah, this was, I liked the opening was good. Those edits were good. I disagree with Diane. The dialogue in the opening was fine.
No, I didn't. I said that I like the dialogue in the opening. It's the dialogue for the punks.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll get to that.
You don't need that. You don't need half of that.
Well, you don't need half of that, but I'll get to that when we get to that because we're still doing good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the opening was good. This is the best La Vigilante that ever vigilanta'd. I mean, serial twins that ever serial twinned. This is a really, really solid opening to a comic, and I think it's I think it's pretty good, pretty solid.
Yes, I think this is a pretty good producible script.
There you go. Constructives. I mean, all right. As I mentioned, don't do one panel and then do multi-shots in one panel. Make those all, what you need to call out is series of panels, just like in screen format, series of shots. Here's a series of panels that convey like a continuous action or some related ideas or something like that. And cool. But yeah, I really don't have a lot of constructives. Diane, you got anything?
I think you had too many sequential panels. You could have just done that once, and the rest you can just. You didn't have to have it that much, but yeah, sure, whatever. I think like you had like 3 or 4 sequential panels, right?
Yeah.
About 3 or 4. You don't need that many. So beyond that, I think that it acts very well. I know the characters' motivations. So far, I kind of like it. I would like some descriptions on the punks. So you just I know that you're just saying punks. What pictured in my head, I saw like Clockwork Orange, and then I saw like the three gangsters from like Terminator. So suddenly the punk leader became like Bill Paxton with the giant tire over his face.
Yeah. I mean, that's way better than the punk gangs from like the Warriors.
Yeah.
Or worse. Is that worse? Because the punk gangs and the Warriors were.
I love the Warriors, ironically. So
I think it's a great movie. The punks are kind of insane though.
Well, you also have to understand that the creator of it is a huge fan of comic books, and it shows. Absolutely shows because
totes. I mean, the Warriors is like one of the best Odyssey stories. Anyways,
but it's like all the gangs. You know which gang they all are because they're all dressed in like a uniform. Basically, they're all
I mean, including makeup is real impressive.
Yes, right down to the makeup. It's great. So I know exactly which gang is in which gang. So I don't have to go like, oh, I beat up the wrong person. No, you don't.
Which actually sort of leaves me to my constructive. Like, I'm going to agree with everyone else about your time lapse panels. I think one of those that you had was good. The other 3 were just overstuffed.
Yeah.
So don't do that. 1 verb per panel. 1 verb per panel. Especially if you've never done this before, do 1 verb per panel. Just have one thing and nail that. If your panel requires multiple things, you've done something wrong, write better panels.
Yeah.
Until you know what you're doing, write 1 verb per panel. So I'm going to keep saying that forever because it is damn good advice.
I agree with that, definitely. Because
the other is actually relating to the Warriors and visual identity. The more I read any of this, the more I don't see why you have 2 twins at all.
No.
Aside from the cover art.
Yeah.
Like, actually, it's kind of nuts. The twins actually hurt your like.
Long
lost sister is.
I have some thoughts on that, but
like you don't need twins in this scene. You don't need twins in the first scene we saw.
And they're not differentiated.
Probably don't need twins at any time, and they're indistinguishable from each other.
Yeah.
Like why do they both have bears? Why do they both have the same eyes? Why do they both have the same haircut? Couldn't they at least have opposite haircuts? Like, can't they be visually interesting? Like, there is nothing to suggest the fact that these people have siblings is in any way related to the story.
Is it similar to like twins, like the Brian De Palma film? Like not twins, sisters.
I had never seen.
Wasn't Twins the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny?
Sorry. I meant sisters. I meant sisters.
No, I mean that's actually a good example. Of twins who are visually interesting sat beside each other, which is exactly what you didn't do. And then there's no point to it, and knowing that you do a very weird high school drama right after this. Like you don't need 2 twins for any of that either. You just need like one person looking lost and then like maybe actually like developing a human connection. So like removing the twins aspect, at least after that scene in the basement, is probably going to lead you to a better story at this stage from what I'm familiar with of your work so far.
I can suggest that if you are going to do the superhero thing, you can kill one of the twins, like in the flashback.
No, the other twin has to be a supervillain. That's how you do it, obviously.
Oh, the other one has to be a supervillain?
Yes, the other one that follows the evil lessons and is turning people into meat and like is
Okay,
against this whole
so
vigilante
we're going back
justice
to like
thing.
Batwoman now.
Yeah, no, that's a way better story. Come on.
Okay, I get that
So,
because that's what Batwoman was. So
if I may, so
Yes.
the twins things works, I would say, in one situation, and that is if they're supposed if the audience, the reader, and the bad guys don't know they're twins. And I mentioned this the last time when you presented these pages, is that because again they're acting like superheroes, and we had this conversation and we never really got a straight answer from you. Is this a superhero comic or is this a real world comic? Because if this is a real world comic, your 120-pound girl, oh no, we had this conversation in the Discord. Your 120-pound girls are beating up 200-pound dudes, and that's not realistic.
Yes.
So if you're doing a superhero comic, fine, you can get away with that because superhero stuff. If you're trying to do something realistic, that goes out the window unless these characters are using real world, unless you're leaning into suspension of disbelief and they're using the world around them. And that's why I remember the last time, I remember my main suggestion was if you were going to do that, is do like smoke bombs. They should drop smoke bombs in the alley, fill up the whole thing, obstruct their visibility, use actual ninja tactics, like attacking from the shadows and attacking from where people can see, and have them doing things at the same time, and having your villains react to them being, oh, they're so fast. How did they get over there? Like, have them actually responding to what's going on. Your reader will quickly pick up the fact that there are two people acting as one in the combat scenario, and it's all a misdirection. So while one of them comes out and hits one person, and then then that draws her attention, and then somebody else hits them from the back, and then all of a sudden it's like, how do they get over there so fast? They should have weapons, and if it's real world, they should have weapons, brass knuckles, batons, something to give them the edge when they're attacking, because punching a dude in the face with your bare fist is going to break every bone in your hand. So have them, actually using the environment. Have have a character swing a punch, miss, and hit the wall and break their hand or something along those lines, because they're just, have them be like super flexible and super fast, so the bad guy doesn't get low, isn't able to land a punch. Things, if you're going to do it real world, you have to think of it that way. They have to be at least somewhat realistic so that you have that suspension of disbelief. Otherwise, if you're just going to be doing, she comes flying out of nowhere and drop kicks a dude on the first go around, then we're in superhero attack territory, and we don't need two people. All you have to do is explain how they got superpowers, or not, I guess. They're trained to the peak of physical conditioning or whatever BS ninja stories typically go with. But usually, even in those stories, there's always the middling punks. Yeah, they can beat the crap out of them, but then they eventually have to run into somebody that's of a higher level. So, and then my other comment that I was going to make is that I think you spend too much time with the spray paint. I was reminded of probably not the best version of this example, but Batman versus Superman. When Batman is introduced and he's beaten, and when he's branding thugs, like, you don't actually see Batman like heating up his little brand and then stabbing the dude. It's just Batman shows up, beats the shit out of the guy, he's gone, or cut away, you hear a scream, Batman's gone, and the dude's like there with the brand and all of that. Like, that is what I think you should do. Like, just have them go in, beat up, have like a few things. Maybe it's not a movie, so it's a little hard to hear the rattling of a shake can, but you could just have like again, if you're in smoke, you have your homeless guy, trying to make his way through the smoke or stand up or whatever, and you hear rattle, 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 spray off, and then he looks up, and then hanging from the fire escape on this alley are all of these guys all tied up, and they're already branded, and then you see his reaction where he's like, "Holy freaking shit, what just happened?" And then cutscene. Like, then you get a bit more of a dramatic reveal, and I think you'll have a more stronger impact doing that rather than sitting them watching these girls dig through their pockets, spray paint them. Like, if you need to know how they're funding their vigilantism, you can tell us in the next scene when they're in the apartment taking their shower. Talk about, oh, this punk only had this much. Oh, this punk only had this much. Or, oh, you took too long grabbing that guy's wallet. Well, I had to find it. It was shoved up. He had it shoved so far up his tighty whities, I was digging in his ass for it. Like, you can come up with those. That kind of banter can tell us how they're funding their vigilantism without doing panels where they're pulling their wallets out, because I feel like that kind of takes it. It kind of takes us out of the story, and I think you do better off by just focusing on the audience insert, who would be your homeless guy at this point. He's your audience insert, so do it from his perspective. That might also be more visually compelling too, because then if it's from his perspective, when this alley gets full of smoke and then the two girls are doing everything, he doesn't know what the hell's going on. They don't know what the hell's going on. Nobody knows what the hell's going on, and then we'll figure it out later. But that, I think, will give you a more real world grounding if that's the angle you're going to go, and that, I think, you need to decide if that's what you want to do or not, because like Danny alluded, we all know this is going to your high school, college drama sorority thing. Assuming that you didn't rewrite all of that. But if you're still going with that, then yes, you need to decide if you're doing superhero. If you are, Danny's right, make one of the twins the bad guy, because then you can actually have the two of them have actual conflict, which you can still do even if they're not superhero. You can still have them have conflict where one's willing to go across the line and one's not, and then you can have that internal conflict. But in a real world situation, you can do that more in drama and less in big, high flying action, where if you're just doing superhero stuff, then you want to do that. You can do that same character dynamic in the middle of your big, high flying action stuff. So decide what genre you want to be in, and then write that story.
I just had a really silly idea that you reminded me of, was actually a good idea when you mentioned that shower scene. What if they were part of like a synchronized swimming team, and that was how they got into college? And then at least, like, whether or not they agree on stuff and can actually work together becomes a plot point instead of just being incidental.
Well, I think if your goal is to do real world and it's supposed to be the twins that are supposed to be behaving and acting as one person. And again, when we were originally doing this too, we were also talking about, it was still a screenplay, and we were also like, you're going to cast the same person. But like, if you're going to do twins and the goal is to have the two acting as one person, carry that all the way through to almost where, I mean, you could almost do some psychological stuff where maybe the one girl just she gets confused as to who she actually really is. With that kind of an opening, you can get away with almost anything.
And one of them secretly adopted. No, hold on, they're twins. You can't do that.
No, but what I mean is, like, if they're two people, they can use their twin powers. Twinning powers. They can use their twin power, like go prestige on them.
Yeah.
Where they are literally two people living one life, and that's how they do their thing. And then you could have, even in your college drama mystery, murder mystery, I mean, how advantageous would it be to have one girl doing an investigation while the other girl is being the center of attention, and nobody knows that there's two of them, So when they're like, oh, I saw her over here, or this girl broke in. No, she couldn't have been because she was with me, and nobody outside of the reader knows what's actually going on. I think if that's their modus operandi, then I think they should stick with that. It's going to be a bit of a challenge to write two characters as one character, but you can do it. And, you know, especially if you establish that in the fight scene, where if there are two people fighting as one, and then we're in the shower scene, you reinforce that they are actually two different people. And then, but whenever they're in public, they're always one person. Or maybe the one girl just, puts on, wears glasses and puts her hair up, and she's now somebody else. Oh, that's my cousin. Like, let them be. You could actually do them as, if you wanted to put both of them in that scene, you could do that, where one of them wears a wig that's a different hair color and wears glasses or whatever. And then that way, and then they can change who they are on that particular day. Again, like in Prestige, where you had Christian Bale playing the two people, but he was always, one of them always had the beard and the gray hair and all of that. So it's like, lean into that, because then they can be the same person when they need to be, and they can be different people when they don't need to be. Or just make them superheroes and have one be the antagonist and one be the villain.
That sounds like a mental disease, is Dracos.
Well, with that kind of an opening, you're basically setting up a psychological thriller.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, there's no way that these two women were watching people getting ground up because they're sinners at the age of 4, and they came out just fine, So,
yeah,
that's a totally healthy, normal childhood activity, isn't it?
Yes.
So I mean, you're laying the groundwork for it. So if you're going to go real world, lean into it and treat that like it's a real thing and how these people really react. Or if you're going to go superhero and you want to go, then yes, one person came out totally altruistic, I want to save the world, and the other one turned into a megalomaniacal mass murderer who wants to cleanse the world by murdering everybody in it.
All right, let's look at Draco's screenplay format. How about that? And I gotta say, I love this open right here, fade in on the left. So good.
It's even in the right place.
It's in the right place. There you go. All right, who wants to do narration?
John does, because it's his turn, isn't it?
I guess.
Unless
Diane wants it.
Hey, you can do
Unless Diane wants
John,
it.
Go, John.
All right, fade in. Exterior, Ryut, night. The sky burns red. Fire and smoke consume the once thriving planet.
Love it.
Atros, 30s, strong, rugged, a scientist turned survivor, runs through the collapsing city with his wife, Eltha, and young son, Khan. They race toward an evacuation transport at the end of the shattered street, their only way out.
Altros, what do we do?
Papa, I'm scared.
There's no L in his name.
Atros? Atros, what do we do?
Isn't that one of the Three Musketeers?
No, that's Athos. That's Athos.
I thought that was Athos.
Grips his son's hand tightly.
We run.
I'm
not Atros.
They sprint through the chaos. Civilians scatter. Burning buildings crumble. A transport ramp opens. Soldiers wave them forward. Atros pushes ahead, almost there. A sudden blast. The ramp explodes. The transport is gone. A manhunter lands before them, cold, unfeeling. I think we should have a description of what that is.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
But
I think it looks exactly like La Vigilante.
Yeah, and while we're at it, these two need some kind of description and age. Yeah.
There shall be no more life in Sector 666.
Oh, snap.
Atros shields his family.
Please.
A blue beam fires. Atros watches his wife and son vanish, reduced to dust.
I guess we didn't
Yay!
You don't need a description at all.
He collapses, trembling, staring at the ground where they stood.
No.
His hands tighten into fists. His breathing changes.
You took everything.
The earth cracks beneath him. A red glow ignites in his chest. Atros screams. The air trembles. A red power ring descends. Is this like a
Green Lantern?
Green Lantern?
Oh, yeah, no.
fanfic?
This is a Red Lantern fan fiction.
Yeah.
Fan
Who
fiction.
wants to be Ring?
I'll be Atros of Ryut. You have great rage in your heart.
They killed my wife and child, damn you.
Whatever,
Ring.
it's fan
This
fiction.
is totally Red Ring.
Yeah. So well, now I know what a manhunter is. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The rings.
Yeah.
It would Martian Manhunter or one of his race.
Yeah.
The ring slams into his finger. His veins
Hey,
ignite.
hashtag not all Martians.
No, I'm saying one of his race.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a manhunter is.
Yeah, they're policemen. They're policemen.
Yeah.
So that's what
His veins ignite. His blood boils. His body twists in agony. Atros rises, no longer a man, a force of vengeance.
No more mercy.
He lunges, tearing through the manhunter with his bare hands.
Oh, poor little Martian.
Title card, Red Dawn.
Oh yeah. Wolverines.
Not to be confused with the Red Dawn of Krypton, or it was Red Daughter of Krypton, when Supergirl donned the red power ring. That was a good run. I enjoyed that. One of the best things that came out of the New 52. Exterior Ryut, in my opinion. Massacre site, night. Smoke and fire consume the ruins of Ryut. The city is gone. The dead are nothing but shadows on scorched earth. And standing midst the carnage, Atrocious, his body. Oh, okay. Atrocitus? Okay. Atrocious?
Can we just call him atrocious?
His body now pulsating with blood red glow. His breathing is ragged, heavy, animalistic. His eyes burn like twin suns. The red power ring hums on his finger, energy crackling around his clenched fist. A manhunter drone rises from the wreckage.
The manhunter.
Oh, okay.
Robots from Brainiac.
Whatever, it's fan fiction.
It's fine. We can entertain it. Can't we?
Yeah.
The red power ring hums on his finger, energy crackling around his clenched fist. A manhunter drone rises from the wreckage, its severed arms sparking at its side.
Designate Atros. Status red power anomaly detected.
Atros bares his teeth, half human, half monstrous, his voice now a deep guttural snarl.
Anomaly!
He lunges, a crimson blur. Exterior Ryut, streets continuous. The manhunter barely has time to react. Atrocious tears into its chest, gripping its core processor with bare hands.
I feel like you don't need this slug line because this action is continuous, and I don't see the seating change. So.
Yeah, that's because the scene doesn't change.
The scene doesn't change. Yeah.
Weapons offline, termination, imposse.
Atrocitus rips out the core. Sparks explode. The machine collapses like a broken marionette. Atrocitus stares at his blood-stained hands.
Not enough.
The voice slithers into his mind. The ring alive, speaking.
Whoever Ring is.
There is more, Atrocitus. You are rage. You are vengeance.
I thought Batman was vengeance.
He's also nice.
Red Lanterns are also vengeance.
Yeah.
And rage.
No, I'm just.
And I mean, how much vengeance can he be? He doesn't kill anybody.
I know. It's just a stupid thing from the Batman.
Okay.
Because he's like, I am vengeance. His breath, because they have to do I am Batman different in every Batman movie, so they're like, oh, now we're just gonna say I am vengeance.
Yeah.
His breath.
All right.
His breath quickens. His heart pounds like war drums. The ground beneath him trembles as if sensing his fury. Exterior route of Brandon Square night. 4 manhunters descend, their eyes red, scanning the wreckage.
Target located. Lethal force authorized.
Oh yeah.
Again, another slug line you don't need because the scene is just continuing.
Yeah.
Atrocitus grins, a terrifying teeth-barreled snarl.
Good.
The red ring erupts, forming his fist construct jagged, barbed. The power ring erupts, forming his fist construct jagged, barred chains of pure hate. That is what it says. I have no idea.
I think you mispronounced first.
Yeah, it's first construct. So this is the first construct he's ever made.
Oh,
the red power ring.
Yes.
Forming his first construct, jagged, barbed chains of pure hate. Got it. All right, my bad.
All
right. I would do colon, because then that's kind of when you do first colon. Anyway. He swings. Chains snap through the air like whips, tearing through the first 2 manhunters. Boom! Metal shreds. Sparks burst. A third fires a blast. Atrocitus catches it with his bare hand.
Your masters will burn.
He hurls the blast back, detonating the manhunter midair.
We'll burn.
Exterior route, last manhunter standing. Yeah, again, we don't need that. The final manhunter hesitates.
Also, that's not a location.
Yeah, that's not a location.
Yeah. The final manhunter hesitates. Its programming falters. Something is wrong. Atrocitus looms over it.
Red energy unknown. This is not willpower.
Atrocitus grabs it by the throat.
This is hate.
He crushes its head. It's pretty cool. He crushes its head with his bare hand. Crack! The lifeless body crumbles. Atrocitus exhales, steam rising from his skin, blood dripping from his fingers. The red ring pulses.
The Guardians will answer for what they have done.
Wait, who?
The Guardian.
The Guardians of the ring.
Is that Sir not appearing in this film, or Sir hasn't been introduced yet?
If you know the fanfic,
if you know the lore,
I'm aware of the lore. I'm drawing attention to the internal inconsistency and the assumption being made by that line.
Yeah.
The assumption is that 90% of the people watching this movie will know what the Guardians are, and the other 10% will learn by the end of the film. Atrocitus
the last Green Lantern movie did so well.
That is not irrelevant.
That's not irrelevant to this story.
Yeah.
Guy Gardner forever.
Atrocitus looks up at the red sky of Ryut, the ashes of his people still falling like snow. His rage burns brighter than the fires around him.
I swear it.
Exterior, dead space, edge of Sector 66. Now, this is a location change.
That's a new slug. That's definitely a new slug, yeah.
All right, a lifeless void, floating debris. The shattered remnants of Ryut drift in silence.
You blew up his planet?
Wait, there's a footnote?
Yeah, how does a screenplay get a footnote?
I don't know.
Badly?
Atrocitus, now a burning specter of vengeance, hovers in the abyss, his red power ring pulsating like a beating heart of rage. His eyes scan the darkness, searching, hunting.
You are not alone.
Atrocitus snarls. He tightens his fist. His rage inside him demands more.
Show me.
A blood-red pulse erupts from his ring, a beacon, a call to the lost, the broken, the furious. The darkness answers. Exterior, planet Yasmalt. Night.
This is also a good slug.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah. Yeah. See, slug at new location.
Yeah.
A world blackened by war, drowning in shadows and blood-soaked soil. The ruins of a once great civilization loom, crumbling towers, shattered statues, the remains of a massacre long forgotten. A figure moves through the ruins, twisted, hulking, monstrous. This is Drakkar, a warrior who lost everything to an endless war. His armor is cracked, his tusked face is scarred, his eyes empty. He kneels in the dirt, staring at the bodies of his fallen kin, a rusted sword impaled in the ground before him. His hands tremble. His breath is shallow. He should be dead. He wishes he was. Then, the sky above him burns red.
Oh, yeah.
Again, we do not need a new slug here. Atrocitus crashes onto the battlefield like a meteor, his presence warping the air itself. Drakkar stumbles backward, his instinct screaming at him to run, but something roots him in place.
What are you?
Atrocitus looms over him, his eyes burning.
I am what you have become.
Drakkar's eyes flicker, as if seeing something he already knows. He is rage, but he is powerless.
I was a warrior. Now I am nothing.
Atrocitus steps closer, towering over the broken warrior.
Your pain is your power. Your rage is your strength. Take it.
A red power ring materializes, floating before Drakkar, humming with raw, untamed fury.
Drakkar of Yasmalt, you have great rage in your heart.
Drakkar hesitates, staring at the ring. His hands shake.
I feel it.
Embrace it.
Now kiss.
No kiss.
Drakkar's hand lashes out, gripping the ring. A scream erupts from him as the ring buries into his flesh. His blood ignites, his vein burns bright red. His muscles expand, his scars split open, his eyes glow like molten fire. His armor shatters, replaced by the red lantern insignia, searing into his chest.
So are there like multiple? I guess there are multiple red rings that hand out.
Yeah, there are multiple. Mm-hmm.
So this is like the Rage Corps.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They just get together I've never heard of the Red Ring Corps.
Oh.
They get together.
It's been around for the last 20 years.
They get together and blow shit up. Yeah, I'm not a Green Lantern person.
Yeah. It's been around for like over 20 years. So
okay.
It's okay.
It seems kind of antithetical that there's like an organization of people just to.
Yeah, there's the red rings, there's the blue rings.
There's a whole rainbow of them.
Yeah, there's a whole rainbow. There's the yellow rings,
I didn't know that.
which is avarice.
I'm greedy.
No, the orange rings are avarice.
And then there's the pink rings.
Here.
What's his name?
Black rings, and there's the white rings.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole rainbow.
There's a whole rainbow. Oh, and the or sapphires. Love.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh yeah, I was saying pink, but yes, they're sapphire.
Yeah, they're sapphire. So.
Hal Jordan's girlfriend in one of the stories became a sapphire lantern bearer.
I want you to know that Guy Gardner became a star sapphire, and I'm very proud of him. He needed a thong, but the thing is that he wore his regular costume. But no, you need to wear a thong, man, like all the other star sapphires. Come on,
I want to see Nathan Fillion as a star sapphire.
Yes,
there you go.
Yes. Give me like, what's that? That costume that Sean Connery wore.
From Zardoz.
I want that. Give me that. Give me that.
The Zed the Exterminator.
Yes,
stuff,
yes.
Yeah.
I also want you to know that Jon Stewart became a Star Sapphire, but they gave him full costume. I was very angry.
Yeah.
So I want come on, give me some man flesh.
Hey, if it's good enough for the ladies, it's good enough for the guys. That's my
exactly.
All right, where are we?
He slams his fist into the ground.
Right, into the ground. A shockwave of red energy explodes outward, shattering the ruins around him. Drakkar, first of the Red Lanterns, has risen. If that's supposed to be that's supposed to be text, it needs to say super or superimpose, and then that's how you do captions in a screenplay.
Yeah.
Where?
Well,
Drakkar,
this is something that we're translating to the audience.
Okay.
Drakkar,
right.
So that needs to be on screen somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. So it you just do super : and then that's what it is, and they know that that's supposed to be text on screen.
Yeah.
Exterior planet Yasmalt. 2 monsters stand against.
That's not a location.
That's not a location. Yeah.
Yep. Atrocitus watches as Drakkar grasps his chest, heaving, his body trembling with new uncontrollable power. Drakkar slowly rises, stronger, faster, more than he was.
I can feel it. I am whole again.
Atrocitus steps forward, placing a hand on Drakkar's shoulder.
No. You are war.
Drakkar meets his gaze. No words, just understanding.
And now some words.
We will burn the universe together.
Why are you walking that?
I feel like walking.
I am loving Preston's delivery. Is the only thing keeping me awake through this.
Exterior space. The Guardians' domain. Hey, look, the Guardians. We're gonna get to meet them now.
Hey, I want you to know that all the Guardians suck. I hate them all.
Yeah, they are a bunch of. Yeah,
they're a bunch of douches, man.
Yeah,
everything's wrong in the fucking DC universe. It's fucking Guardians.
There you go.
A vast comic expanse. Nebulas swirl. Distant stars burn. In the distance, Oa, home of the Guardians of the universe. A perfect world, pristine and untouched by war. But the darkness is coming. That is not filmable. Rift tears open in space.
That is filmable.
That is very
that's
filmable.
Yes.
A blood red storm brews at its heart. Through the storm, a figure emerges. Atrocitus. Close up.
Yelling at us.
His red lantern.
I like it. Yell. Please yell.
Yeah, but the script is yelling at us.
Yes. I love it.
That is not incorrect in a screenplay. You can do that when you're trying to draw attention to something.
Yeah.
Close up. His
is that
red
correct
lantern.
in the screenplay, John?
Close up.
Yes, you can do close-ups, and camera direction is in all caps. Yeah. Sound, camera directions, and certain visual elements that you want to draw attention to, they are all allowed to be in all caps.
The only technical note I got so far is you don't need all these extraneous slugs.
Yeah, really. That's it. And I hope you know, like, you're friends with James Gunn or something. Otherwise, nobody's going to ever see this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Behind him, Drakkar and the first Red Lantern warriors hover like specters of vengeance. Atrocitus gazes down upon Oa. He has waited for this moment.
Guardians.
A single word, but the universe itself seems to shudder. Might not be a filmable line.
Wait, isn't he like made of rage? Why would he wait and go on this entire side quest instead of just coming straight here?
He was gathering other Red Lanterns.
For more rage.
Rage!
Interior.
Okay, whatever.
Interior Oa, which I don't think that would be correct because Oa's a planet, so you would have to be inside the planet if you're interior Oa. Otherwise,
you're interior Oa, so that's what's happening.
Otherwise, we're just interior the Guardians Council chamber on Oa.
I think this is okay because when you're doing a location slug, you go from big to small. So on the planet, inside the Guardians Council chamber.
Yeah,
I think that's okay.
That,
although I would like it to say Planet Oa, interior
Oa.
Planet Oa, the Guardians Council chamber.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be okay. Whatever. A hallowed hall of light and order. marble pillars rise into infinity. The guardians of the universe, ancient, small, but immeasurably powerful, float above a circular platform. Before them, Salar, a Green Lantern general, kneels. His emerald cloak ripples behind him.
Go, Dan.
Something is coming. Something beyond rage.
The Guardians exchange glances. For the first time in eons, they feel uncertainty.
What do you fear, Lantern Salar?
Before he can answer, a shadow consumes the room. The chamber trembles, light flickers. An unnatural crimson glow bleeds through the walls.
Ooh.
Then, a firestorm erupts from the ceiling. Boom! The roof caves in as figures descend. Atrocitus,
the Guardian figure descends because he didn't bring an army with him. He just came by himself after going on side quests.
The Guardians barely have time to react.
Your sins have returned to haunt you.
Love it, Preston. Keep it up.
I love the walk-in. I just love it. I just love it.
Christopher Walken as Atrocitus.
The Red Lantern.
Awesome. The Red Lantern warriors stand behind him. Drakkar among them, his eyes burning bright. See, Danny, they're among them.
Well, where were they before? Do they just teleport in? Do they appear magically? Were they
Salar
there the whole
draws
time?
his Green Lantern ring, stepping between them.
Oh, he was following him, so they're behind him. So.
Wait, am I Salar?
I don't know.
You said the line, so yeah, you are Salar.
Atrocitus smiles, a cold, knowing grin.
Atrocitus.
You serve tyrants. You serve cowards.
Oh, it's right here.
Oh,
that's
sorry. You serve them. You still wear their chains.
Salar doesn't flinch.
I serve the universe.
Atrocitus
salad
spits on the marble floor, the saliva boiling on impact.
You serve tyrants. You serve cowards.
The Guardians finally speak.
We know this day would come.
Atrocitus laughs, bitter, sharp.
All right, 10 pages.
Yay.
Hey.
Aww.
All right. Diane was really getting into
I was going to get to it, man.
No, so was I. That was really good.
I was going to get to it, man. You're going to kill the Guardians. Let's go.
All right. Well, you got a compelling story. There's somewhat of a problem in that it's someone else's universe, but, great things have come from fan fiction. I got to say your formatting has gotten way better since you started working with us. Yep. Fantastic. I mean, look, it's a good action story. Good job. What do you think, Diane?
I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just kind of like at those, and all of a sudden you said Atrocitus. I'm like, wait a minute, is this? See, I came in not knowing that this was going to be a Green Lantern fiction.
I don't think none of us knew.
And I just went like, you mean like the Red Ring? And all of a sudden it's like Atrocitus. Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Okay, so this is fanfic. Okay, cool. Let's go. It's like, I know this universe.
I'll say nice things. This is successfully a fan pick. Someone will masturbate furiously to it.
Yes. Yes. His name will be Jeff Johns.
Yeah, like you have successfully set up a good revenge story arc. We have a villainous character who's willing to do villainous things to enact revenge on people that hurt him. And I think you've set him up as, assuming he's your main character and not your main villain. I mean, we're 10 minutes in and we haven't even met. I mean, I'm going to assume he's your main character. So, yeah, you.
No, I mean, what about Mr. Aftershave?
Hell yeah,
Mr. Aftershave.
Drakkar.
Drakkar.
No, he's like the side dude. Anyway, so I think you did a really good job of setting up a good story arc for this guy to go on. And I think it'd be really, really interesting to see where it goes.
Although, well, okay, never mind. I'll say that in criticism. So.
Danny. Oh, did Danny already say?
Yeah, sure. I'll do some credits. This escalated quickly, with no context whatsoever. And within the first 10 pages, the person went from being almost a person to about to destroy the Galactic Super Police. Yeah. So I don't know where you plan to go from here, but there's not a lot more places you could go from here. So your story pacing needs work. And also it's fanfic, who cares? I'm sure Preston will talk about the fact that it's not your property and how that's a problem, but like, I'm not interested in fanfic, so whatever.
So,
John. Go ahead, John.
So I've written a few fanfic screenplays before. So the only thing I would say is Danny is not. I think there can be a benefit to playing in somebody else's sandbox. I think if you can write a story that uses other people's characters in a way that is true to those characters, I think that is a good exercise. When it, especially, like collabing with other people, or if you ever are offered a job adapting somebody else's property, you want to be as truthful to that property as possible. So fanfic is a good way to practice that, especially if you
I totally agree. Spec scripts are like a real thing, like for TV and stuff. Still,
I'm talking now. You had your chance.
Okay.
You said you didn't care. So
I mean,
okay.
Yes. Please continue.
Right. So I think there's a benefit to that. So I don't want to completely shoot you down for that. My only thing I would say that as a fanfic, I would caution you to inserting too many original ideas into it. If you are taking, and I'm not super familiar with all the Red Lantern stories. So maybe you're just adapting something. So like, for example, one of the fanfic screenplays I wrote like 10 years ago was a Teen Titans fanfic, because they're one of my favorite DC properties. And the script that I was writing was literally an adaptation of 3 different actual Teen Titans story arcs from the comics. And all I was doing was kind of adapting them. I was adding a few original elements, but I was basically adapting them into a screenplay format. Like, if I was hired to do it, this is what I would do. And when it comes to that, like I don't mind talking to people about it, or what story they chose, or how I did it, or how I was doing it, because it was 90% their story and their property. So the small things that I was introducing into that universe, basically, here's the thing: like, you could spend all this time developing it, and even if somebody from, let's just say somebody from Warner Brothers read your script, they could literally steal it and not pay you a damn thing because you were never commissioned to do it. And then if you said, hey, wait, that's my story, if they could say, well, prove it, like, so you run into that problem, which is why, like, when I talk about my Teen Titans script, I don't mind talking about it because it's 90% their story anyway. All I did was adapt it. Whereas, and I don't talk about it a lot, is my Matrix fanfic screenplay, because that is a 90% original story with original characters set in that universe. And if I ever decide that I want to use that story idea, all I have to do is go and make a few changes to the universe, and bam, it's an entirely original storyline now, which I may do in the future. So I don't typically talk about the story arc in that. So that's the only thing I would say here, is if you're going to do fanfic, just be careful about what you introduce into it, because you could literally end up doing somebody else work for them and get absolutely zero compensation for it. But if you're simply adapting somebody else's story and tweaking a few things to make it work in a different medium, go for it. It's a good exercise. You may not get anything out of it besides the experience of doing it, and having Green Lantern fanboys jerking off to it, as Danny said. So
all right, there we go.
What,
did Diane have anything?
Do you have any constructive, Diane?
I am, as someone who has written fan fiction before, I will scoff at the idea of people saying that it is a useless worth of anybody's time, because some of the best stuff out there are pastiches. So, which are what was, if you want to say the literal word for what is fanfic. So, what is fanfic? I came from I was doing fan fiction before fan fiction was a word.
Sure.
And at the time it was called pastiche. So, and I came from the Sherlock Holmes fandom. And they've been doing that for over 100 years. Thank you. So, and of course there are other ones like John Milton, who did Paradise, goddamn,
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost, and things like that. And that is fan fiction as well. To say that it's not is bullshit right there. But I actually do agree with John saying that fan fiction is a great way to just learn the craft. Really is. How to write characters, how to get motivation, how to write from act 1 to act 3, however you want it. It's a great way to do it because it's kind of built for you. Also, yes, it's not your property. Yes, they can steal it. And Disney has done that to me before. So with that said, be careful what you write and how you show it. And yes, you can write something mostly original like John did with the Matrix stuff, and then just do a couple changes and it's your own property. Is there fan fiction out there like that? Yes. Outlander is a very, very big example of that. So, which is just Doctor Who in Scotland.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's highly successful, and she's raking in the bucks. Good for her. So, and then you also have the bad stuff like Twilight. so,
but hey, that's successful though.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
That's not very successful.
I mean, for that matter,
how bad is it when it's that financially successful?
It's just
I wouldn't call it bad. It might be artistically poor.
How many movies did they squeeze out of Underworld?
Oh, geez. 7?
Oh, 4. Yeah. There was 4 actual films.
4. Yeah.
I thought there were more. Or was that Resident Evil?
Oh, Resident Evil had 9 movies.
Yeah.
No, that one kept happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't know when to stop.
Yeah. So,
I think it did know when to stop. I think it followed the Police Academy formula.
But the thing is, as I'm saying, actually, the thing is that what I did like about your script is, one is Atrocitus is a character that not a lot of people have actually done his origin well. Having read a great deal of the Rings of Power for DC, he's one of those characters who came out of the blue blank. And we kind of still don't have much of a backstory on him. So bravo, trying to get something out there. And and there are characters within the DC universe which are kind of blank, and would love to hear more shit about them if they fucking, did their job. So, hello, Dr. Midnight. Thank you. And, but, like I said, this is a good win. However, I will say this. Atrocitus is going after the Guardians. Where do you go from there? After that, is he going to kill them? Then what's going to happen? Are you going to, I assume you're going to have a giant war, but that's going to be a lot of characters, a lot of stuff. I just don't know how can you top killing the Guardians, assuming that he does. Because he's, so yeah. So, if not, that's a very short movie. So.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with Diane. I don't know a lot.
Where do you go from there? Unless you start off like a big, because once the Guardians die, don't all the rings perish? Like the lantern is gone, right? It dies with the Guardians. Doesn't it?
I think you might just need to pick another a DC villain, somebody that might be bigger and badder. Like if he's fighting Brainiac drones, why doesn't he go after Brainiac?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, that's kind of my thing, is that you're going after Guardians, but that seems like something you would do in the climax, not in the first act. So
yeah, or if you want to do like pure fan wanker, you have him like go after Batman for some reason.
No, get Batman out of there.
Not in a rings.
No.
Story,
because Batman took all the fucking rings at one point and killed everything. So
I think I saw an image of that. It was hilarious.
Hey, Batman took on like the amount of willpower he has when he took on the green ring power. Fuck, man, that was some crazy shit. Anyway, good story.
I think that's a little bit too big for like if you're doing like an origin story.
Yeah.
You know, pick a villain that you can build up to, and then maybe after he goes after Brainiac or somebody else, he finds out that the Guardians were the ones that sent that particular villain to them, and then, like Dan said, go after the Guardians in the climax.
Exactly. I agree with that. Also, there wasn't much of an explanation of why his planet was destroyed. Is he blaming the Guardians or is he blaming Brainiac? So therefore, if he's going to blame the Guardians, why bring up Brainiac whatsoever? So if Brainiac is the one who blew it up like he did Krypton, I understand that. Go after Brainiac. And it's like, oh, the Guardians did it. Oh, I'm gonna go after the Guardians now. Fuck. Yeah. So yeah. So
and to that end, and Danny also mentioned this point about not having a character. I think it'd be beneficial to see him before he becomes Atrocitus.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, because we never get our save the cat moment, because this guy's going to basically go full on revenge, kill 'em all mode. And I think it'd be beneficial to know who this guy was. So maybe show him and his relationship with his wife and his kid, and how they're all, do a cutesy, like Krypton origin story thing, and spend the first 10 minutes doing. Maybe you did, and maybe we're picking up in page 11 because you thought this would be more interesting.
No, we picked up on page 1, dude.
So you could have you could spend maybe 10 minutes where we get to know the character and his world, and we basically like him as a person, and then when this happens, we feel something for him, instead of you have Preston being like, oh, I'd like to get a description for the wife and the kid. They're like, oh, never mind, they're dead now.
Yeah.
Give us a reason for, if we fall in love with his wife and kid as much as this character is supposed to in a short period of time, then we will feel for him when he dies or when they're killed, and then we're on board for his revenge mission. Which,
again, I assume would be Brainiac, not the Guardians. so
something did occur to me, and Diane's probably the person to answer this, who's actually here now.
Yeah.
I do remember having seen the Green Lantern movie. Isn't a lot of this basically the same as the beginning of that? It's like, what's his name? Like yellow guy, has some personal trauma.
Sinestro, played by Mark.
Screw you, the Guardians. Why don't you do this cool thing that would help me? And they're like, we're the Guardians. He's like, I'm going to kill you all. Is this just exactly that with a different character? And also, is that good or bad if it's fan fiction? Is just oh, let's do the Green Lantern movie again, but it's about Atrocitus instead.
I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but the thing is this. Also, you're not talking for the beginners out there. That's the thing about playing in someone else's sandbox, is that the people who come in not knowing what the hell the Red Lanterns are pretty lost. So, and not knowing what the Lanterns are in general are lost. So there is some exposition that you need to explain. So what are they, why are they here, what are the Guardians, all this stuff, why is there all these different colors? So I'm not sure if you're going to do that maybe later on, because can, but it's still, you need to at least explain that. With as for the movie, now it's been a very long time since I've seen it. I remember not liking it, of course, but also
there was lots not to like. But I mean,
the animated movie was better.
The animated movie was better, but I will say this about the movie, the live action movie. Sinestro was awesome. Sinestro was the best character.
Was that Mark Strong?
Yes, it was Mark Strong, and he was amazing.
And when is Mark Strong not amazing?
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that for me,
good actor in search of a better movie.
Yes, and he was the best thing. He made that movie for me because I hated the rest of the movie. But the other thing is also that I have a very strong hatred towards Hal Jordan, like that has spanned
the character.
Yeah. I've hated him for like 35 fucking years, so I despise this character with all my heart. But I love
character. Let it go.
No, I know, but I hate him. So, and it's mostly due to bad writing. So it's mostly due to bad writing for him.
Like bad writing in a DC property? No.
Yes. A big contender for that, Jeff Johns.
Oh.
Yeah.
Harsh.
Yeah.
Harsh.
Oh, all right. We're throwing shade now. We're using the fan fiction to throw shade.
I know it's your favorite character. You keep on trying to give him a fucking blowjob every fucking issue that you write. Anyway, so right over. But
the problem with fan fiction is your notes end up being more about
how much you hate a character. Yeah.
That you're writing in.
Yes.
Your specific
story. But saying like this, if you are writing a movie, this is the first one, you're introducing characters, you're introducing this world, you do need to explain it. But what you're writing, I assume it kind of comes off as an animated movie where you don't need that explanation. Like it's already been established. Like I'm watching
either that or most of those DC animated movies are for the fans.
Yeah,
so we already know 90% of the lore, so you don't need to explain to us
like what are these things.
Yeah. Who are the Guardians? Yeah, we know. Because if I'm watching a DC animated movie, it's because I want to watch a DC animated movie. I
don't need all the exposition and all this stuff because I already know what this universe.
Which I think is part of the reason why the Green Lantern animated movie worked, because if you notice, they're both basically the exact same plot. Mm-hmm. One is just 80 to 90 minutes and the other one's like 2 hours, and it's like, it's the 30 40 minutes that they added to the live action movie that really makes the rest of it suck.
No, it's just badly written. So it's just badly written.
There's a lot of parallels in this. It's like they had the same script, mm-hmm. and they gave it to two different teams with two different budgets.
Yeah.
And the animated team had a smaller budget and it had a smaller length.
Yeah.
Yeah. Runtime. It had a smaller runtime and a smaller budget, and they just did way more out of the park than the and they also came out like a year apart. Like the animated movie came out in I think it was in Redbox, and then a year before the movie came out. So but anyway, yeah.
So but that's kind of the thing that we're discussing is there are good points and bad points of getting into another franchise. It's not yours, but when you're doing it, are you writing this for a new audience? Are you writing this for the fans? That's also another thing. And you can get rid of that exposition. It's probably not a great thing to do, but yeah, if you're writing for the fans, great. If you're writing for like the general audience, you do need to do a lot of explanation, and that the plot might be simpler in comparison and less streamlined. Anyway, but that's all I'm gonna say. So I think I said enough.
All right. Well, we went off for quite a while.
Yeah. Sorry, I like fangirl
for a fan fiction script. We had a lot of feedback for that.
I'm sorry.
We just talked about the DC universe for a bunch.
We did.
We did get feedback on the script,
but the script itself, I'm
Which is why I kind of rolled my eyes at the fan fiction thing. It's like it's really hard to get feedback on the world building when you didn't build the world. Like, there's a lot of craft stuff there.
Yeah,
but I mean,
but as I said,
Like, yeah, like Draco, your craft is fine. You can write the first 10 pages of lots of things. You still haven't brought us the second 10 pages of very much.
Yeah.
So maybe do that instead.
Okay. Well, also the thing is, like I said, he's going after the Guardians already, and I don't quite understand how you're gonna top that in like a third act. So if he's gonna be already
he's
murdering,
gonna blow up the whole universe.
Yeah, this is like
after blowing up most of the
we're
universe.
We're gonna like take the source wall down, man.
Will the good guys stop him? Is he the good guy? Is this actually secretly like a version of the Lantern Corps that's like the boys? We'll never know.
Yeah.
Because Draco will never write another 10 pages of this.
But it would make a great short. So make a great short.
Yeah, no. Like this script, you could film this. It's a great fan film. Apparently people get careers out of that or something. I don't know. People certainly get buzz on the internet out of that ends up going nowhere, and maybe like a job or two. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's your way to do it. Like I story edited this like Dick Grayson fan film a couple of years ago. I don't know what happened to it. Someone else threw a bunch of money at production, but you know.
Wait, was that the YouTube show?
I genuinely do not know. No one's been in touch with me since. I have no idea if they just don't have budget for CG or what.
Well, there was a good one. There was one that came out like 15 years ago.
No, it was newer than that.
Okay, because that one, the main guy in it who was actually writing it and spearheading it, he was I think he was a professional stunt guy in film. And he was massively a huge fan of It was Nightwing. That was the title of it. It was a YouTube channel. This was back when YouTube was all into their 10-minute videos and web series. And it was What was that?
When they were competing with Vine.
No, it was before Vine existed.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So in the beginning days of YouTube, it was all 10-minute videos.
Okay.
And web series was like a big thing. Yes. And this guy was doing a Nightwing. He was a professional martial artist.
Are you talking about like Dad in the Sun Productions?
I forget the name of it.
But anyway, a bunch of these though. Like I really like the Batman.
He got taken down from.
I love that one.
He got too big, and DC took him down.
Yeah.
Cease and desisted him, and that was the end of his series. And you can still find it if you can like torrent it somewhere. I think is the only place it exists now. And there's been a few others, but most of them get cease and desist.
Yeah,
that's one of the other problems when you get into this fanficky world.
I think it's a bit more like companies accept it a little bit more now than they might have done earlier.
Yeah, in the early days, it was very much like.
But like, it depends on the creator. Like, there are some creators who famously cease and desist everything.
Yeah, Anne Rice.
Yeah, it was exactly who I was thinking about, actually.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know about like the Anne Rice like scandal, right? So she does not like fanfic, period.
Okay.
So people who like took, made like they do this as a hobby or as stuff, and they just wrote all this stuff about her universe, and she had cease and desist and sued all their asses, and it was just
she basically sued the internet. It was hilarious.
She sued the fucking like internet, and she was like mean and terrible about it. And I'm like, you're trying to sue like a 12-year-old, 14-year-old. I'm like, seriously? And
these are your fans. These are people that are going to give you money.
Fans. The one who gave you money, they're making no money off this. Honestly.
And they're helping you earn money because they're promoting your universe. Yeah.
So, but the thing is that she was like, oh, yeah. So that was like, woo, I'm glad I never went on that thing. But yeah, I was there in the dark ages. I was there.
There you go.
I was there. I remember that shit.
All right. So we're going to go do some other stuff. I'm reading through the Palace trade paperback, and I'm pleased to say it's really good.
Okay.
Oh, did you fix that page alignment issue?
Page alignment issue. Which one?
There's a couple times I mentioned it, like because one of the issues had an odd number of pages, you needed to add a spacer.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll send you a link to the PDF file and you can read through it.
Yay!
But our second AD from Frontier, our second AD, yes,
yeah,
from Frontier Crucible. She read the first 4 issues and she was like, "The story is crazy intense." And I know Thor is a baddie, but I really like her. I'm like, there you go.
I love Thor, but I know she's a badass. I love her.
Yeah.
I know she's evil, but it's okay.
Yeah, I know she's evil. It's okay.
It's okay.
You know, Preston, I just bought a bunch of dice and designed branding for them to go along with like Palace and My Fantasy Project and the D&D module. Like, I'm really excited about this.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'm about to order some trades. So
yay!
Okay, I'll send you a link. You can read through it and see if you have any notes.
Unfortunately, if I don't have time to do it tomorrow, I'm not going to send notes till March.
I don't need to.
So let me know when there's a real deadline, and I'll work to that, because otherwise it'll just be a couple of weeks. Like, I'll calendar it and stuff, but it'll be a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
When's the trade coming out?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm planning to submit the files pretty soon. Yeah. So whenever Danny can give me his notes in like a week or two, I'm actually.
Oh yeah, I'll have time on Monday. It's a public holiday.
Yeah. While we've been talking, I've been sitting here looking through quotations.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I'm helping him with his ads.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you fixed the resolution issue?
Yes, we did.
Yay!
Yay! And we're gonna put in ads for his other comics in there.
And you really like the page numbers.
Which ones?
These down here at the bottom.
I hate those page numbers so much.
You're probably gonna get rid of them.
Yeah.
You're going to change them.
I hate those page numbers.
Are they still like the fugly tempo things, or is there an actual design there yet?
I'll tell you what, for now there's not a design there. But Diane will probably put a cool design there, or just say screw page numbers. But I feel like I'm like 128 page trade paperback. Like page numbers are not bad.
Not
50-50.
Not that.
I mean, you're doing issue breaks in it, so most likely anybody that is going to stop reading is going to stop reading at an issue break.
I'm not actually doing issue breaks.
Yeah, no, we're going straight on through.
Yeah.
Oh, like I did. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like Sleepwalkers, I did issue breaks, but that's also partially because I have some really great covers and wanted to put them somewhere, so I use them as spacers. Palace is not doing that; it's just going straight through.
The other thing that Elle commented on was that the first thing I told her about, before I even told her about Palace, was I've got this artist who's really good at drawing women's asses. And she said she kept thinking that as she's reading through it. I'm like, well, he is. And a whole bunch of lady booty.
There is
you're not wrong.
Trunks.
Yeah.
Anyway. A lot of badonkadonk.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, cool, everybody. I don't know if we'll meet next. I guess it depends on Joseph or not. Anyway.
And Danny.
Well, I'm not going to be here.
Danny's not going to be here. So we may or may not meet next week. Anyway.
All right.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Take care.
Night.
Good night, everybody.